Kings, at the request of someone on Discord, I will transcribe the Kalea Baldo Man messages that were released last week. I'll jump in as necessary to provide context on events either mentioned or unmentioned, but necessary to the messages. Because I'll be doing this word for word, don't expect my usual embellishments on Nick's atypical speech behavior, but still expect me to interject with my shitty opinions. And this was all done with Kalea's input, so thank you to her for her private thoughts on this. Now,
nigger faggot.
To make sense of it all, we have to go back to February 7th of 2023, back to when the dominoes started to fall.
I don't actually know what the definition of a Coomer is, I just know that I am one.
We are amidst the full swing of the Coomer saga and peak degenerate locals pre-panoptes. Wine moms like former second wife Sally, that ginger chick, and others are posting lewds for a married man of 5 to gawk at amongst the other men. While you have those like Katie McQueen, Ellie Fent, egalitarian stains, the aforementioned Sally and others are trying to maintain a hardline stance of supporting Nick in this endeavor of being dedicated, lifelong fans of his since 6 months prior at best. On the opposite end of the spectrum, you have the countless Kiwi Farms members logging and creating shitposts to get under Nick's skin, and ones like Hydro PX and Cynthia Pre-Mental Break are on the locals itself creating their own discourse. Kalea, at this time, is a janny on the outside of the locals, looking in on a man who's stated to be a devout Christian man, dutifully loyal to a woman who would be given the moniker of our wife. Her concern, much like other people still not cast aside at that point, is well placed, but still partakes in the trolling because, well, he didn't make it hard not to troll him, as we'll see.
Pull up.
Talk to me. Pull up is a phrase with no meaning.
Damn, I thought you'd find that funny.
I never know when people are joking anymore. So many people are actually mad at me, Raffle.
How have you been? Thanks for shouting out my health like you did. Means a lot. I am still really sick. I see 2 more doctors this week. My dad also died 3 weeks ago, so I've been really depressed. Fuck. That sucks about jokes. Why are you so mad? Oh, and 2 nights ago was really fun. Apparently joking around and messing with people doesn't go well in there.
The same stuff about pulling up. People decided I was trying to have sex with fans, and since I talked about trying drugs, I'm now a drug addict. People are really defensive because Cynthia went completely off the rails, threatening to dox people, etc., trying to get them to calm the fuck down.
Why did you take illegal drugs in your state? I thought lawyers couldn't do that or they'd lose their license.
Not even close. But I did drugs out of the country. I did them in state 1 time.
His use of MDMA and possible, but unproven, use of cocaine contradicts this claim heavily.
Once is still illegal. Just looking out for you. I don't want you to lose your license. I thought you loved Kiwi Farms.
Raffle, they stopped loving me and started loving me. They also decided a whole bunch of really nasty shit about me and my wife. I'll always defend the farms and the right to exist. But it's hard to love people who call your wife a whore constantly.
Now, this part I do know from memory Kalea, stating that as a Christian herself, she knows the value of God in someone's life, such as Nick, who had stated numerous times in the previous years that he was a very devout Christian who spent a lot of time at church with his kids and our wife. Her intent with this next section was to make Nick look inward upon himself and his relationship with God, to change the sudden pivot in both personality and content path. It reminds me of what a different man would say in this situation.
We have made and kept covenants with our Lord God to honor his laws. In exchange, we are promised eternal salvation after this life. A day will come when our Lord returns to judge us all. Until then, we must honor his laws and start others along the path of salvation, if we can.
Hindsight being what it is, we know his stance on religion is as warped as the man we would come to see him devolve into.
Oh, I see. Not all they say is bad or wrong, though. I haven't noticed a ton of people using whore towards lady rackets. Is it over the lewds? Because I was calling Sally a whore last night for posting so many lewds. I recall you saying, do not take lewd photos or share them, but only with your wife or husband. Once you share your bodies with other people, you change how people think about you, either good or bad. Our bodies are our temples. Even though your photos, to you, aren't that bad, it's still sharing that sacred part of your marriage. It's too late now, but lady rackets shouldn't have been a part of your job/show/business. The internet is brutal, and I hate hearing from you that they are calling her that and other things. Best course of action in my eyes is never have her on the show again to help with the name calling. But again, you can take my advice or leave it. Just looking out for you both, I will say the nudity in the locals is partly why I haven't joined in the discussion. I hate any nudity. I think sharing photos like that with complete strangers is never a smart thing to do. It's why the biggest YouTubers don't engage with their fans other than with their show. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying this as a fellow Christian. My advice that you can throw in the garbage if you want to is for you to pray to God and ask Him about what to do with your business going forward. Turn to God more each day than you have been. I think a good idea is to turn off 24/7 chats on Sundays since you stream all the time on all the other days. Just a suggestion. I'm not trying to run your business, but having one day a week for people to log off and relax could help all the tension going on in there. I don't hate you, even though I've seen those dummies in chat try to tell you I do. I've never hated you. Do I agree with everything you do or say? Nope. I am disappointed to see this path you're taking. Not in all ways, just in some. That's why I wanted to bring up God to you. He knows no one is perfect. I definitely am not. But God can help us even when we don't know we need it. Another idea is you doing a Bible study stream on Sundays. It would be great. You thought about doing it years ago. I always wanted you to do it. Just trying to make some suggestions. Because I've noticed and felt Satan's presence with you. He's winning right now in the entire world. He knows exactly what buttons to push with all of us. He always enters our lives with minor things that you won't notice. That's why you need to listen to the Holy Spirit always. You may think Kalea is way wrong. That's when you want to worry. When any of us get comfortable where we are in life is when he creeps into our lives. Satan knows just how slow or what is your weakness, only you will know what they are. My guess is alcohol and something else, but I've been wrong before to get you to go down the wrong path. Again, not saying you are so far down the wrong path. My reasoning for why I'm saying all of this is because I've been in a dark place many times in my life, and I needed the extra wake-up call to get me on the right path. Again, to know what the right path is for you to ask God. Also, you've been a good friend to me, and I want to help if I can. The Holy Spirit is telling me to send all of this. Up to you to chuck or read it. Love your parents and family every day. You never know when they will be gone. Having my dad die last month has taken a big toll on me. Doesn't help I'm vomiting most days and in tons of pain. I have been praying for you and your family. I will continue to do so.
Nick's response to this was decidedly timid. One could argue it was possibly legitimate at the time it was sent, but now it is a shoulder brush comment as it was never responded to. Also ignored the talk of her health and her father's passing twice, so R.I.P. Father Kalea.
I don't have time to fully respond to this yet, but I will. I take this counsel fully and happily and in the obvious good spirit it's intended. I've reflected a ton on my life in the past year and learned a lot about me and my path and my relationship with God. I'll share more when I have a minute, but I wanted to thank you and let you know how happy I have been to see you.
I don't know what Baldo's definition of reflection is, but it must have involved immediately jumping back to locals.
You deserve to be punched right in the dick.
To see more of those hotly demanded Sally Ludes from her daughter's bedroom. But let's see when Nick will have a minute to share his thoughts.
Stop making Jesus more than he was. He's just a guy. He's a guy.
To June 17th of the same year we jump, as Nick finally has a minute to share his thoughts and feelings on Kalea's heartfelt concern with his Coomer pivot. Surely he has much time to compose his thoughts and will give a well-structured and lengthy response to...
What is your problem now?
Well then, now we're on brand with the Baldo man I've presented in my own stylings prior.
What are you talking about?
You know what? Never mind.
So 3 days after this, we have a Kalea Keck moment. Even with Panoptes in full logging mode and running the wine moms out of the locals slowly but surely to emigrate to different channels in LawTube, Nick still holds steady in the rapid Coomer descent. And to this, a simple question is asked about the status of a man Nick holds fond memories of. Energy King. One half of the hedonism two-pair alongside Romaine James that Nick and our wife met. while in Jamaica at the aforementioned swingers resort for their trips of August 2022 in the very same month we're talking about. The question that was posed to him was simply,
How is Energy King doing?
this unbelievable, unthinkable, inconceivable act of treachery from one of his longest tenured and trusted jannies made Nick actually remove her as a mod. A select few on Discord were made privy to this information, in which many laughs were had at Mr. Baldo's expense yet again. The following exchange was made after Kalea's removal, as mod, seeing her being sent to the growing ranks of the now prude incel nerd army.
Why did you demod me?
Why shouldn't I demod you? Look, I'm not retarded.
Debatable, but let's continue.
People can disagree with any and all of the things I do in life, or things that they have decided I do that aren't true. That's their prerogative, but I'm not going to amplify bullshit from people. If people have some sort of problem, they can talk to me about it. If people are going to make a fucking retarded spectacle out of some fiction they have, they can do it without a wrench, or they can go somewhere else. I played with the internet for 5 years, giving people way more permission to speak into my life and work than anyone deserved. All I got from it was faggotry. Sorry, everyone burned all their bridges with me. Everyone decided the internet can't be fun and open. It must be closed off. I'm fucking tired of giving any bit of myself to people. Good job. Internet, you burned it out of me. The internet can find someone else to fuck with.
Very interesting. We'll see how this plays out later, juxtaposed against current Baldo later.
Fair enough, it's your channel. I was just curious why and what I could have done to undo 4 years of modding for you, helping get your Twitter back under Rekieta Law News, and making and maintaining your link tree. I will change the password and you can have it, or would you rather I just delete it?
She deleted it.
So because I trolled you, though, with a single message the other night is why? What happened to free speech in your chat? You joked back in chat at me months ago when I told you to pull up. So I thought trolling you wasn't off limits. Anyways, from your last message, I can see my answers. Well, I guess this is goodbye. Take care.
Look, a lot of people have been trolling me, and there is trolling. And then there's the repeated implications that I'm cheating on my wife, or that she's a whore, or we're in some sort of cuckold relationship.
A cuckold relationship that Nick kindly confirmed during Aaron's revenge porn case that came a year later. So yes, the implications were well-founded the whole time.
Free speech is fine, and you have it, but if people are going to repeatedly and grossly mischaracterize and disrespect my wife in marriage, then I'm not sure they need to be moderating the channel.
Again, all Kalea said was, how is Energy King doing? Didn't call our wife a whore, didn't call him a cuck, or state he was sleeping with any of the locals' wine moms, or the skinwalker formerly known as Mandy.
I appreciate what you've done, and I was genuinely concerned when you were ill. Remember when you said the best course of action was never have her on the show again to help with the name calling? She hasn't been on the show, or in the locals, or posting on her own channel, or anywhere else. And yet, even you came out with that shit. What happened to hating that people treated her badly? Where'd that go? It's just trolling though, right?
This would be the last communication Nick and Kalea would have for quite some time. It was obvious then and now that Nick was closing ranks on the Baldo battalion, only keeping around those who would follow his exact narrative and not deviate. But 16 months pass, and during this time we have a cavalcade of events occur. Baldo's Gates exposure of the Mandy Skinwalker, two struggle sessions,
who likes to watch her get fucked by men.
the unveiling of the polycule, even more visible signs of drug use, and most importantly, the arrest of Baldo Man, our wife, and April Anderson, now former wife of Aaron Imholte, turned Baldo mistress along with Nick's kids, being taken by the state due to his retarded and selfish actions, along with the heartbreaking revelation that his 9-year-old daughter was exposed in some way to the cocaine Nick had in his home at some point.
People who ruin kids can get raped.
And even then, contact remained dead silent between Kalea and Nick. But life never goes on the intended path you want, and like a Frank's hearing, normality would be denied.
Tried cocaine like not too long ago for the first time ever, and I hate it.
We are now current-ish day, October 28th of 2024. We are well past the happenings of his own omnibus, the denials of his appeals, and the individual hearings and appeals of our wife and April. Nick urging OnlyFans thought Keanu Thompson and her fiancé to file charges of felony revenge porn charges against Aaron and the collapse of his once beloved locals. At this time, the status of our wife within the complex is unknown, and April is still living with Nick. The numerous promised returns to streaming never happened. The promises of telling his side of the story on numerous fronts never happened besides veiled Twitter threats. People who defended him leave as the details of his arrest and charges are released by Minnesota Public Records on Kiwi Farms, leaving him with only a handful of Baldo washers at his disposal, namely Viva Frey and Robert Barnes,
Rekieta's already won!
who continuously feed Nick's delusions about his case and supply him with the Barnes Walker for defending him in his criminal case. But we get to Alyssa Clips, well-regarded clipper of Nick and others within LawTube, routinely uploads videos showing his hypocrisy, compared against his old self that he states was simply a facade that the old fans thrusted upon him. She can very well be considered a critical piece within all of the Coomer saga, especially with Claire Bears, unfortunately having to leave the internet when she did. I don't know about anyone else, but her streams at the start of the Coomer saga are missed, but give rise to PPP and Andy Warski of Kino Casino taking over where she left off. Anyway, back to this certain day and Alyssa. Previously, at a day I cannot remember, Nick gave this 12-second snippet that gave Alyssa carte blanche.
Alyssa has always had and will always have my permission to clip the show, to clip the local streams, whatever she deems will be a good clip.
And this was held until this particular October 28th. It was revealed that Nick had struck down Alyssa's more recent videos of his locals Hugbox cope stream under copyright violations. This is pivotal for 3 reasons. First, he had not done this with any other video prior involving his local streams. Second, which can be proven to be incorrect as this is speculation on my part, his local stream and page, while behind a paywall, is still under public domain and can still be seen by the public without having to pay for his channel, and in my opinion, would not fall under copyright alongside the fact that Alyssa did just enough to make the clips transformative. Third, which ties into the previous reason, is that if you were to use Nick's own argument in his criminal case of a clip that utilized a watermark unique to the channel that it came from, that implicated him to be under the influence of cocaine, should be inadmissible because said watermark would render it transformative and therefore not comparable to the original, you would find that Alyssa's videos would, again, be transformative. But because Alyssa wished to protect her channel, she took down the video. Word of this would reach Kalea and others, seeing Nick's hypocrisy at work once more. Unsure of why he would rescind his free speech and permission of letting her friend clip him, she messages him on Discord for the first time since June of last year with a simple,
What the fuck is happening?
Unbeknownst to Kalea, she had unfriended Nick on Discord sometime after their last conversation and forgot about this, hence why her message never went through. She then took to Twitter to get answers from Nick himself on his recent actions.
What the fuck is happening?
What do you care?
Well, you demodded me 18 months ago for disrespecting Kayla by asking you about Energy King, a man you actually follow on Instagram, so now I see you did it because I was poking at the truth. You were embarrassed by it. You hated knowing what you allowed to happen at that resort. Then you go and invite another married couple into your bedroom? You go and do coke? What the fuck, Nick? I tried telling you that Satan had a hold on you back in February 2023. I wish you had heeded my warning. It's honestly shocking what has happened. I've kept quiet until now, but now you're threatening Alyssa with striking her channel. This is totally uncalled for. Why are you doing this? You used to be for free speech, but when that speech is something you don't like, you now block and ban people from your chats. Alyssa clips your words. She doesn't manipulate them. You're embarrassed by your own cope streams. This is the only explanation as to why you are doing this. You have no control in your own life right now because of your choices. So that is why you are lashing out at her. You need that control. So since you are upset with your life, you are taking it out on her and whoever else. That's why you spend hours on Twitter calling everyone nerds and arguing with them. I don't even recognize you anymore. What made you turn your back on all your values and principles? Don't give me the bullshit answer you said last night on your Cope stream. You can't complain about the internet commenting on your life when you have put your life out there since day one. No one is forcing you to stream your life. No one forced you to stream your vacations. No one forced you to talk about your personal life. Alyssa has done nothing wrong. You gave her permission to clip. Why are you going back on your word? Is it because your online reputation is tarnished to hell? Whose fault is that? If you are trying to turn your life around, you are sure going about this aspect all wrong.
What I allowed to happen at the resort, you know why I followed those two guys? One, because they're really nice. Two, we didn't fuck them.
Doubtful, but continue.
Three, one of the female dancers who we really liked got pregnant, which meant as soon as management found out, she was going to be fired.
Apparently. Nick isn't aware that even Jamaica has laws preventing companies from firing pregnant women without incurring a penalty. Yet another lie.
We were trying to get contact info to her to discreetly give her $1,000 for medical expenses, because that goes a long fucking way in Jamaica.
Assuming she was being honest in the first place and not, as Kino Casino speculated, lied and did it to get money out of Baldo.
So I reached out to some of the male dancers who I talked about anime and cooking with to try and get her contact info.
Insert. He talked about redo of healer joke Sean in the casino did already.
You fucking retards all thought that meant we were fucking dancers at that resort. We were just being the people that we are and trying to help someone in need.
So now he's called it a perversion of what his mother and father do with their charitable donations.
But I was being just a tiny bit discreet about where we went for vacation because it wasn't everyone's fucking business. I also never denied going to Hito. I just didn't answer. You dumb fucking assholes just would not let me have a private life. Then you fucking bitched when I talked about my private life. So get fucked.
Streaming from your hotel room isn't exactly discreet. You also almost always willingly shared aspects of your personal life, so it's not that people, namely the wine moms and Coomers, didn't let you keep your private life private at that time. It's that you fed those people what they wanted because you believed sharing all of your life made you a better streamer.
We didn't get fucked, by the way. That's all in your gay fantasies. We just had a really great time as husband and wife where no one is angry or mad. And I found out I really enjoy being naked in places where it's appropriate because I like me and I like being naked.
Yes, the man who liked himself so much that he felt he was getting fat, so he just decided to get sick, do drugs, and eat less to lose weight when he never at any point looked overweight.
What the fuck business of yours was any of it? You still have no idea what I was going through in my life, and I still won't tell you. You have no ownership of me.
Huh. Okay.
That's about the best immediate response you could give to an unprompted story when that wasn't the crux of the problem Kalea took umbrage with. Also remember how he said he was tired of giving any bit of himself to people and that the internet can't be fun and open. Still giving himself to people and still trying to be fun and open because everything in his life is in a causality loop of being funny and weird since he's a funny and weird guy. I'll shut up again. Continue, Kalea.
You made it the internet's business when you streamed from your hotel room at Hedo. You told us all about the trip. No one forced you to do that. All you had to say is, I'm going on vacation. See you in 2 weeks. But no, you had to mention some vague details which made the internet curious. I think you loved the attention. Any publicity is good publicity, right? Well, don't you think I would be one of the few that can understand what you have been going through? You can't tell me anything about it. You expect people to blindly believe you when it's hard to take you at your word. You lie all the time. You've gone back on your word a ton, aka he has never lied. I have kept quiet online about you because I've been waiting for the full story to come out. You and I have never been hostile towards each other. I have never claimed I have ownership over you. So why are you going after Alyssa? What happened to your values and principles? You used to be a free speech absolutist. You would talk about mundane Matt and others for being flaggots. You gave Alyssa your word that she can clip anything she wants. So your word means nothing.
So I don't get to set any boundaries. If I mention something, then you suddenly have the right to all details. That's retarded.
Yes, you can set boundaries. But when you set them so far after the fact that they're just suggestions, they won't be taken seriously, knowing you'll give us answers because of your need to be correct about anything and everything.
You already thought my word means nothing. I don't value your opinion. Also, I don't lie all the time.
Again, he says never lied.
I don't answer things you want answered, and not everything about my life is public. It's not a lie of omission of you don't have a claim on an answer. I don't owe you any information at all.
And we get the info anyway, from locals, Cope Stream, and Twitter anyway.
Did it ever occur to you that I gave plenty of information about Hedo so that people could just figure it out and I could just not ever confirm or deny it? I don't care that people know where I went. I care that family and friends who have no business knowing about it, and a clip of I went to Hedonism too in Jamaica would highlight something that could cause family drama.
If that made sense to you, then congratulations, because that just sounded like coke-fueled autism.
As for Alyssa, I no longer have any desire to let her clip my content. It was always a courtesy. If she wants to do it, she can make it transformative. I have a paying audience, and the content I make for them is not fuel for clip channels.
First, see my previous argument for this transformative argument. Second, Nick, listen, you nuked your audience threefold. Your audience is A-logs and the clip channels. It's balled over.
Of course you can set boundaries. You haven't done that, though. You continued throughout the years to share way too much. No one has the right to your personal life details, but come on, Nick. You know how the internet works. They are autistic detectives with a ton of free time. Doesn't make it right, but you know the nature of the internet beast. You didn't think that until you changed. That's fine. You lie a lot and tell half-truths all the time. Every single person on the planet lies.
I'm thoroughly enjoying editing all of this, just driving home her point.
Well, I look forward to you telling your side of the story. Correct. You don't owe me any information. So you wanted the internet to figure it out? Why the fuck would you want that? And also want your family to not find out? Did you mess up your message to me? You don't care that people know, but you don't want family and friends to know? Make that make sense. If you don't want family and friends to find out, then why? Post that naked photo of you and Kayla at the beach. Why not be more private about it? Okay, but didn't your friend Sargon win a case over transformative content? I believe she has made them transformative. Except I agree with you that future paid content shouldn't be clipped now that you've rescinded permission.
Again, see my theory on this, as I disagree with Kalea on this notion on the paid locals shit.
But I didn't care about people investigating where I went, but that wasn't enough for anyone, including you. You needed me to say it for some stupid reason. No, I just didn't care if someone paying attention found out. I'd have preferred to tell everyone anyways, but I'm not alone.
He both wanted the farms to find out and wanted to tell everyone he went when he wanted to keep his trip private. Just another day in the reality of the Baldo man.
Look, my family isn't full of obsessive autism. They aren't going to do these deep investigations. But if you blast it in everyone's face with a direct statement, it's going to do from a passive to an active thing. Again, though, why was it so fucking important to you? Who cares?
You care that people found out about our wife getting a special Queen of Spades massage and didn't even have a coupon for it that time.
Sargon specifically clipped and arranged clips to change the content. Alyssa just clips and slaps a descriptive title on it.
She did the same as Sargon, but continued.
I preferred not to do any of that. I gave her notice and time to correct the action. I didn't DMCA her. I didn't have to do any of that. As I changed, so did my method of discussion and approach to topics. Everyone tells me they all knew. So why have a fit about it?
Says the man who berated people for leaving because no one wanted to hear about his Coomer talk. How he wished his parents told him about their sex life when he was younger, or again berated people for not believing his story on his arrest, without giving substantial proof that his charges were false beyond saying his story would be told through filings he never made.
Anyway, for the 100th
Unprompted.
time, Kayla and I did not fuck any Jamaican dancers. We just hung out with them and wanted to help one of their coworkers. They're nice dudes. Also, if they touch you, they're fired. I'm sure they fuck fat women for money, but neither of us are fat women.
This would be the last of the messages Kalea would receive from Nick, and as of today, November 3rd, He has not reached back out and thus ends the Coomersations.
Mondegraph has always been into sucking little boy cock, which is weird, but that's his thing. Look, I'm not here to stop him. I'm just saying he should probably be shot in the fucking head. Mondegraph, you're a fucking faggot. Everybody knows you're a faggot. Clip this all you want and sue me if you want, you fucking faggot child molester.
At the end of this journey of once genuine concern turned confusion, we're left with an even further soured look about one Nicholas Rekieta Imholte. A devoted husband, father of 5, and devout Christian man undone by his own sexual desires and a resort in Jamaica.
Mandy, if I were not married, girl, I would wreck you.
The days of the Vic trial, Kyle Rittenhouse, and even the fateful Johnny Depp trial that spurned the worst day of his life, that's often alluded to, all feel like decades from where we stand now with the Baldo lore. One trip changed everything in a New York minute and started a lolcow death spiral quicker than that. With his trials and lol suits still ongoing, there's no forecasting how anything can play out or what new details will come to public light through legal filings or the reemergence of Minnesota public records.
Nick, we need to bring shame back to the fullest.
Yep. In all aspects of.
If you're still watching this god-awful fucking video, thank you. I know Potentially Criminal and Kino Casino had better presentations of this than I can manage with what's available to me, so your being here is always a gift. Thanks to Kalea to providing her own words to this, as well as I believe it was a missed opportunity others haven't taken. Thanks to the Kiwi Farms for being an archive for all that has transpired, all that has yet to transpire, and the talented people on there giving us quality posts to enjoy. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm taking a fucking month off again.
Is this niggerlicious